r/ask Reddit. Girls, what was the most obvious hint you dropped and the guy just didn't get it? I had a girl invite me round her house once just to show me her posters. They were all of Harley Davidson motorbikes and she said she's never ridden a Harley before. Awkward silence, and after a few other short bits of small talk I decided to be on my way. 2 years later I'm sitting on the bus and realize what she meant. Holly. Ridden the Holly. My name is Holly. Damn. I feel so bad for her. That's a perfect line too. Asking him to take picture with me. Hugged him a couple of times. Told him he has nice hair. Started smelling him and told him he smells nice. I even looked in his eyes for like 2 minutes. Turned out he was gay. LMAO. I'm the guy in this situation, but I couldn't help not sharing this story. In college, this girl I was really into asked if I wanted to hang out at my dorm and drink and watch Netflix. She came over and we were watching and drinking on the couch in the living room, per my suggestion. Things are going good, and about an hour into it she says, "Ooh, let me see your room." So we go to my room. She takes her shoes and socks off and immediately sprawls herself out on my bed and says, "Oh my god, your bed is so comfortable." I responded with, "We live in the same building. It's the same bed as yours." She left about 10 minutes later. We were talking about canoes, and I said I'm like a canoe because I'm wet and you can go inside me, and he said canoes aren't really wet. Edit. Some people think he was rejecting me, but we ended up dating for 2 years. The thing is, if he did acknowledge the sign, how should he have responded? Cowabunga. When my boyfriend and I had just started dating, we were laying down watching a movie, but this was a small bed, and he was being respectful and giving me space. I kept wiggling backwards so I could get closer to him, and he kept inching backwards too, since he thought I was just trying to get comfortable and he was in the way. He ended up sitting in a chair next to the bed. 3 years later we are still together, and I still think it's pretty funny. He told me that when he was in the chair he purposefully left his hand next to me in case I wanted to hold it, but I guess I missed that sign too. He didn't get out of the bed because he was uncomfortable. He truly thought he was taking up too much space and didn't realize I was trying to cuddle. We were playing life, and he was a police officer. The rulies: if you spin a 10, he gets your speeding fines. I literally pulled open my button down and exposed my breasts and said, "What can I do to get out of paying this?" He said, "Ma'am, I'm an officer of the law. Are you trying to prostitute yourself to me?" A couple days of flirting and sexual innuendo later, I literally had to spell out that I was trying to duck him. We've been together 6 years now. Yo, that dude is serious about his role playing. He told me my hair looked nice. I said, "Bet it would look nicer with your hands in it." He said, in a very confused tone, "You want me to style your hair?" Edit. Glad one of y'all thought my mixed signals was worth silver. This one is great. At least he managed to say he was clueless. After chatting for hours on top of a mountain from sunset until like 2 AM, sharing a blanket, me leaning my head on his shoulder, telling him he's attractive, etc., he turns to me and says, "How do you tell if a girl is into you?" I asked a guy on a festival to come take a shower with me. He didn't get it. He just repeated there was only one free shower, and I was like, "Well, they are big. I'm sure it's fine," and he just looked confused and told me I could go first. We became close friends since that happened about 2 years ago, and this summer I spoke to him about it, and he really had no idea. He did the biggest facepalm I've ever seen. Honestly, I feel this one. I was at my sister's a few weeks ago, and her boyfriend was in, taking a shower. I was about to get into the other shower, and my sister says, "I'll be in the shower if you need me." Me, "Isn't boyfriend in the shower right now?" Huh, "Yes." Me, "So you're showering in a few minutes, not now?" Huh, "No." Me, "But boyfriend is already in there." Huh, "Yes." Me, silence. Huh, silence. Me, "Oh." Facepalm. I threw my panties at him, and he kept explaining God of War lore. Man of culture. A couple of weeks ago to my boyfriend of 3 years. Me, undresses and lays naked on the couch, waiting to bone. Him, makes dumb joke, "Ooh, you're naked. That's so weird." Me, dies a little bit inside. I'm a guy, but I once had an experience where I took the hint, but still got rejected. A girl had asked me if I lost my virginity yet. We were in high school. When I said I hadn't, she said that I could practice on her whenever I want. Mind you, we walking home after school because we lived close. I try to act on this hint when we get to her house, and she said she was only joking and doesn't want it to be weird with us as friends. Every guy's worst fear right here. I was only joking. So, answering in lieu of my late wife here, I, husband, am dumb. Like, really dumb. She and I met and became friends very quickly, but I didn't know she apparently had a huge crush on me. I thought she was out of my league, and apparently she thought I was out of her league too, but she couldn't stop the feels. She rubbed her feet on me while we were talking, asked me in detail about my package, gave me her phone number with the line, "Hit me up if you want pizza and sex." We went out for lunch. She offered to fill at me for a Dr. Pepper, and she was very insistent that we got meat lovers pizza when I asked her what she wanted for watching a movie later. After we watched the movie, she was in my bed. I figured she was just wanting to keep warm and cuddle, but she strutted into my bathroom stark naked, and I had some DD staring at me. She kissed me and told me, "I want you to duck me, you idiot." A regular romance story there. In my defense, she had a really warped sense of humor, and I thought she was kidding with all that stuff. It felt so natural with us being friends that the thought didn't even cross my mind until she propositioned me that there was potential for more. I'd had some really ducked up exes, and I thought romance was something where I had to jump through hoops for the other person and wait on them hand on foot, but she was different. That's why she was the one who I got on one knee for. Advice to the ladies out there: if my wife telling me "I want you to duck me" got through my legendarily thick skull, I think as a last resort that'll get through to anybody. Guy here, but once had a girl drag me into the bathroom while at a college party saying she needed help finding her marker/pen. We didn't find it, and I figured out what was really going on a year later. For Valentine's a couple of years ago, I mailed my husband a package. The note said, and I quote, "I want you now." I was ready to spring into some extra fun sexy time. Whenever he opened the package, I had to sit him down and explain a couple of hours later. He was like, "Oh." Before we started dating, I told my current boyfriend "I love you," and he said, "Oh, I love you too, you're such a good friend." The whole time we thought we were both friend zoning each other. Wasted half a year going in circles, shaking my head. I'm not as brutally upfront as some of these people, but mine happened yesterday. "How do I know a girl is flirting with me?" he asks. "She touches you a lot while you two are talking." I cannot relate at all. That never happens to me. I'm sure it does. I tell him and hit his arm. I can't think of any time that's ever happened. See, this is a rough one, because I had this one girl I'd talk to all the time, and she'd sit next to me in class. I had a huge crush on her, and she'd be overly touchy all the time. She'd occasionally even rest her head on my shoulder, sleep on it during class, when she was tired, just stare into my eyes for prolonged periods of time, and hug me. When I told her I had a crush on her, she shut me down completely, and told me she only saw me as a friend smiley face. Invited him over to watch a movie, eventually laying my legs across his lap and hard flirting, but after 4 movies I had to finally make the move. Edit for clarification, we'd been flirting via text, sexting, exchanging nudes, etc. I had previously told him to his face that I liked him, and I'm giving him the green light to make any move. Still nothing after a month of dating. I seem to always take the lead on things and I like assertiveness, but I wanted to give him the opportunity to feel like he could be in control, that it was okay. I was very direct many times. We'd had several discussions about it. Still nothing. Even after I finally made the move, I had to literally say, "I want to have sex with you." Before my boyfriend asked me out, he kept hinting at the fact that we were both single and everyone thought we would be cute together. I was like haha, yeah, not realizing he was trying to ask me out. Complained I was a bit cold, so he gave me a blanket. I then told him there's space for two under the blanket, in an obvious flirting tone. He answered with no thanks, I'm not cold. I still tease him with it once in a while. We are married now. Literally said I want to be yours and the dude just keeps smiling and goes on about random space facts. That one hurt a bit. One time a girl straight up asked if I wanted to take my pants off and I didn't get it. I was like, nah, they're actually not uncomfortable at all. We were playing Don't Drink and Drive on Mario Kart. Just the two of us. I was trashing him, so I gave him a chance by lying sideways across his lap for the entire race. He didn't take the hint. We started dating 2 weeks after that. He was concentrating hard to not get an erection. He forgot about you for a while. I went out of my way to come in early and talk to this guy every day for like a month before someone else told him I was into him. I also repeatedly told him I liked him. He thought I was just being nice. As a guy, to any girls reading this, you have no idea how easy it is to miss hints. Please be more obvious. We are also really bad at being scared of taking signals wrong. Edit. Post-award edits are so last year, so suffice it to say waking up to 37 new messages gave me a small what have I posted heart attack this morning. You are all very kind. He invited me to his house to watch a movie after a few dates. He ended up playing League of Legends for hours while I was laying in his bed and asked him many times if he would like to join. Sorry, just one more match. We dated for 2 years. I used to be oblivious, probably still am. There was a girl at a local grocery store who was flirting with me, but of course, I didn't get it. After quite a bit of this, I leave town for a few months and we are corresponding via email. I can't remember why, but I was asking her a string of silly questions, like, why is the sky blue? Chicken or the egg first? Where do babies come from? Etc. She answered them all, saving where do babies come from for last, and answered it with, when you get back I'm going to show you. I got that one. It's snowing. Just stay here. You can sleep in my bed. Jesus Christ, how many of my exes are ducking in here commenting on this? 40 so far. Guy here. A girl took my hat off, started running her fingers through my hair, and asked what did I do to get it so smooth. I proceeded to tell her all about the new shampoo I had switched to a month before, until she cut me off. Well, don't leave us hanging, man. What's the shampoo? Friend was complaining he was hot because of his long sleeve shirt. I said, oh, I'm sure you'd be just as hot without the shirt. He was so unaware, but I finally just kissed him. This was some years ago. I was 22, had been talking to this guy for a while, and was ready to lose my virginity. I was a college student living at home, but my mom and stepdad were on vacation celebrating their anniversary, and I figured this would be the perfect time to make my move. He and I already had a date scheduled, so before we went, I cleaned my room and the entire house from top to bottom, created a chill playlist on my computer to listen to, shaved, waxed every necessary inch of my body from the forehead down, put on sexy underwear, and waited for him to pick me up. We went out to the movies, and when he dropped me off at home, I invited him in, with the added context, and in a leading, flirty tone of voice, that we would be all alone, and had all the time in the world, to do whatever he wanted. He said, that's alright, I'm sure you want to enjoy this time you get without your parents to be alone. He was sure, and he was wrong. I just stared at him for like 10 solid seconds in silence before I nodded, said yeah that's true, and got out of the car. The walk from my driveway to the front door was the real walk of shame, and I hadn't even gotten any good decks out of it. After that, I sat in my very clean house in my sexy underwear, eating pizza and wondering how that could have gone differently. It was my first time trying to seduce a guy into X, and it failed miserably. I laughed about it though, and I still laugh about it now. I just figured it wasn't in the cards for me yet. Ended up losing my virginity a few more years later to the guy I'm currently engaged to, so it worked out wonderfully. He's pretty good at picking up what I'm throwing down. Lol. Shaved, waxed every necessary inch of my body from the forehead down. Maybe it was the lack of eyebrows. Reading these posts has gotten me even more confused. I'm a guy in my 30s. Basically 70% of the top replies has happened to me a lot, except the super obvious ones where the girl is making a physical move, hug/kiss. But the couple of times I've actually made the move, nope, they just want to be friend. F my life I guess. I would hold his hand, snuggle into him at group gatherings etc. and kiss him on the cheek. He thought we were best friends. We are dating now lol. I always wind him up about how clueless he is.